I'm Franz Hahn. I'm a PhD student concerned with the topic of video quality assessment. Basically, we're looking into what makes up the quality of videos and images and what drives us towards liking something or disliking something. Most recently, I've been concerned with the subject of changing the compression of images. JPEG is a compression format that I think everybody knows, but it changes the quality the same over the entire image. And we've been trying to include information about where people look into this formula, changing the quality in areas where people look less, and trying to retain the quality in those areas while reducing the quality in areas where people do not look. In order to get the data for the predictive model of where people look, we have recorded the gaze of people looking at images using an eye tracker. In eye tracking, you have a camera that's pointed at the eyes of an observer. It records the eye movements, the pupil, and based on the geometry of the eyes, it predicts where the gaze was located at. It's just this black bar that you can attach to essentially any screen. It's very flexible in that sense. After we validate that the accuracy of the eye tracker is sufficient, and then you will see a series of 12 images, each for 4 seconds, and we will record the data. So this is one of the examples that we've done our study with, one of the example images. Basically, this is the image as it's shown to the participant of the study. From this, we can gather several eye gaze data, which can be shown here. These are the fixation points, so points where different participants had a fixation, a certain time that they looked at this position. A white region in this image shows a high likelihood that people looked in this area. This is the old lady in the background. These are the people sitting in the center of the image, as you can see. And now this would be the image as it is compressed using standard methods where the quality is assumed the same over the entire image. You can see that the points of interest, such as this old lady and the people in the background, are not very well visible. They're very blocky. There's very blocky artifacts on them. And in our improved method, both of these parties, as well as the people on the right, are kept with much higher detail, but lower end of the image and the upper part are reduced in quality, which is not very noticeable because we tend to look at the people in the picture in the first place. Currently, we're using eye tracking data for each image that we're compressing. So we're taking user input for every image that we try to compress. But this is infeasible because it requires everybody that wants to compress an image to have an eye tracker. So ultimately, we need a system that can predict where people look without knowing where they looked in a given image. And the idea is that we create a statistical model that does this based on a lot of information that we supplied it beforehand. We give it a lot of images, we give it a lot of information where people looked, and from this it learns what parts of the image are interesting to humans and can predict it in new images that are somewhat similar in some regards. So there's always a trade-off between what we perceive as the quality of an image or a video and the size that they take up in the network or when they're saved on a hard disk. And if we can keep the quality the same while reducing the size, we can use this in a lot of different scenarios. Say you are on your phone and you're browsing Facebook and there's this one video that you really want to look at, then we could offer you a solution where the quality is the same as everybody else's quality, but the size it takes up on your data plan is smaller.